Thank you, Adrian, for being with us.
My pleasure, Edward.
What is profits? What is profitability? How would you define it?
Well, it's a great question because I often ask people and I sometimes get some funny answers. An airline executive said profitability is something we haven't seen for several years. Someone else said that profitability is a measure of how smart we really are about our business. But I think for many companies, the fundamental answer is profitability equals resources to reinvest in the business. If profitability is very low, the ability to invest to create new value for customers and to reinvest in the employees is low or not existent. If we can create profitability that's very high, we have the resources to invest in innovation, to create new value for our customers, and to improve the training and the capabilities of our employees. So that it's a financial measure for sure, but its strategic significance is the high profit companies have the best resources to reinvest, to protect and grow their position.
But what if I say profits are the money to give back to the shareholders? Isn't that also true?
Oh, it absolutely is, because some part of profitability you give as dividends. But most owners of equity are investing not for the dividend, they're investing for growth. They're investing to protect that profitability and to grow that profit over time. And so the high profit companies certainly have the ability to give an appropriate dividend to the investor. But what the investor is really interested in is, if the stock price is 20 today, how can you make it 50 to 100? And the high profit companies have the best capability to reinvest to make that happen.
And how can you take a stock from 50 to 100? What are the key drivers of profitability?
The key drivers of profitability begin, oddly enough, outside in with the customer. Do I have the right customer selection so that I serve people that I can win with, and I don't have a confused customer set where I do poorly with others? And do I have a unique value proposition so that I am their number one choice? That's half the equation.
Give me an example of those two things.
In the consumer electronics world, as you know, there was something very famous called the Walkman.
Yes.
Then there was the Discman. But the company who should have taken the next step wasn't Sony, it was somebody else, namely Apple, that figured out that the new consumer wanted to be able to download music digitally and to be able to buy music legally at an appropriate price. And Apple created the iPod system, the iTunes music store, and the alliance with the music producers to provide that whole combination of features to the consumer. That became the consumer's number one choice, and today Apple and the iPod have something like 70 to 75% of the market. They became the customer's first choice. That's half the equation. The other half of the equation is to have the right cost structure and pricing system to convert the value that you've created for the customer into value for the shareholder. And Apple has operated on both levels there. Number one, on the cost, they have very carefully outsourced components so that they just assemble at an ultra low cost the ultimate device. As importantly, on the pricing side, they've been very innovative about reversing the traditional razor and razor blade model. In the traditional model, you sell the razor for a low price to sell razor blades. Apple, in a very creative way, sells the music for a very low price in order to be able to sell its high margin devices. So they're the first choice of the customer. They are also extraordinarily profitable and have the kind of high margins and growth that the investors absolutely love. And it was an opportunity that was available to several other players. Apple understood the customer better, moved more quickly, worked on the value proposition side and on the economic side, and is a great example of how you need to put several components of the puzzle together in order to make